Hey guys, Mike here, the Detroit Borg, with a look at the new iPad mini Smart Case. Now, we're familiar with the Smart Cover, which the iPad mini had since launch, but it never got the Smart Case like the full-size iPad until the Retina iPad mini debuted. Now, this works with all generations of the iPad mini. The iPad mini with Retina display is slightly thicker, but it's so small it doesn't make a difference. So the Smart Case retails for $69. It's only available in leather. There is no polyurethane version. It's available in beige, not beige, but brown, beige, black, yellow, blue, and product red, as I have here. And again, these are all leather. These are aniline dyed leather. And the great thing about the Smart Case is that it provides full 360-degree protection to the iPad while providing the utility of the Smart Cover. So you can prop it up for keyboard orientation and landscape orientation. And it also wakes up the screen or puts it to sleep. So I really like the Smart Case on the iPad Air as well as the iPad 4th and 3rd generation. So I'm glad to see it here. Now I got the red version for the space gray iPad. I think the red and black go well together. And then I got the brown version for the white iPad mini. So let's go ahead and take a look at the product red version. We just have a little tab here to pull open and push it through. And there we go. So we have little instructions on how to install it. That's pretty basic. So let's take a look at the cover. So you can see it's got a nice rigid design that's not floppy like the original Smart Case used to be for the full-size iPad. This is more rigid. So you have a nice rigid edge here which seals up the side. Now you can see that if you have the cellular version, we do have this little window here. It's kind of softer or smoother spot here for that plastic window to rest into. You also have the cutouts for all your important essentials like your camera and your switch, as well as covered buttons for your volume rocker, sleep-wake switch. And we also have a cutout for your headphone jack. And we have perfectly cut out speaker grills. So they line up perfectly with the iPad, and then of course you have your cutout for the lightning cable. Now we have our iPad mini Smart Case branding, product red, designed by Apple in California, assembled in China. You can see we have this nice felt liner, just like the Smart Cover. So it provides a nice cushion for your iPad while cleaning the glass display if you prefer. Now if you look at the inside, you can see that that felt liner completely covers the edge of this case, comes all the way to the edge, and then it transitions into the leather on the exterior. So on the back you'll find the Apple logo, again cutouts for your microphones, and cutouts for everything else, and you have your hinge along the left side. Now we have magnets in the front cover here which wake up the iPad and keep the cover secured to the glass. All right, so let's just drop in our iPad mini. As you can see, it snaps in snugly, so it's pretty secure. If you look along the edge, you can see it comes up just perfectly to the edge, allows some of the metal color to shine through here. So you get some of the metal while most of it is protected. And it looks pretty nice. I always like that little detail. So you can see that chamfer sort of picks up the light here. Very nice. And you can see it's pretty flush to the glass here. There's not a lay-on-table design, of course. In this case, you're not going to do that. You're going to cover it up. You can see we have our cutouts for the lightning connector, which is ample enough for larger lightning connectors if you have third-party accessories. Again, cutouts for the speakers, which line up perfectly. We have our Apple logo embossed on the back. Volume controls, which feel just as tactile through this. It does seem to loosen up over time because this is leather. And then you have a fairly large cutout here for the switch, which is easy to operate. And again, just the right size cutout for the camera. And you can see the cutouts for everything else. You can see that it's pretty tight around the headphone jack, so larger connectors may not work through there. But otherwise, it's pretty low profile. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to your iPad. Now, as you can see, we also have our product red Smart Cover, which is a slightly different color. It's a little more orange red versus this darker red. Of course, that changes because of the material. This is polyurethane versus the leather material. And as you can see, they have the color matched inner liner, which matches the exterior. And it looks pretty nice. And of course, this doesn't cover the back of the iPad like this does. But of course, this is easy to take on and off. So if you don't want to have a case on your iPad, at least you have the option to take this on and off pretty easily. This one is a little more work. Now, it's not too hard to take off. So if you want to take it off, just pop it off at either corner, and it comes out pretty easily. All right, so let's go ahead and show you some of the features of this cover. And again, it does have magnets which hold it securely to the glass, and you can roll it back to form a little trifold position. There are magnets in the hinge which hold the cover in that trifold position. So this is the keyboard position. So if you want to use the keyboard position in a more comfortable angle, you have this option. And of course, you also have the landscape orientation, like this. So you can place a keyboard in front of it, or you can use this for FaceTiming. So for example, you want to prop it up for FaceTiming, or you can use this for watching movies. Works out pretty nicely. And again, folds up, and there you go. Now taking a look at the angle here, you can see we have a nice wide foot, so it's pretty stable. It's not too steep, so it doesn't want to fall forward, and it's pretty stable that you can interact with the screen. You can tap on it without collapsing it too easily, but it is pretty easy to collapse. So for example, if I push on it here, you can see it does collapse. So you do have to be careful sometimes. It'd be better if they kind of overlap so it doesn't do that, but it does work otherwise. Now let me just quickly show you the brown case, which will be going with my white iPad mini. So as you can see, the brown also is color matched to the interior, so the interior and exterior are matched. Again, you can see your branding on the inside, of course not product red this time, but it has the same features, cutouts. We have that flatter surface for the cellular version, and we have that nice aniline dyed leather on the exterior with all the cutouts and the Apple logo embossed on the back. Now the only thing to consider here, as I've seen with my iPhone 5S case, is that it does weather with use. So when you're handling it, it does have a tendency to discolor, but that's to be expected. Some people like this look. You know, I'm not sure I feel great about it. I do have a tendency to want to clean it off all the time, but I like the way this case feels, and it does a nice job protecting the phone. So I have no problem with the case. I just wish it wasn't so easily discolored. But that's something to consider here, that this leather material will probably discolor over time. So let's go ahead and get our white iPad mini with Retina display here. So we're going to grab this off the smart cover, pop it in, and there you go. So that is the iPad mini smart case, pretty much identical to the one for the iPad Air. It only adds about 3.9 ounces to the weight of the iPad, so not much weight here. It's nice, lightweight and thin, doesn't add much bulk, provides full 360-degree protection with very nice materials. Feels really nice to handle in your hand. And of course, we maintain our Apple branding, so it looks really nice overall. And of course, you do have to be concerned about how this will weather over time. If you don't mind the aged leather look, that's certainly not a problem, but it will probably discolor, and it's pretty expensive, so that's something to consider here. But I definitely like this case. This is the case I'm going to be using for my iPad minis. I really have no need to look elsewhere. So that's going to do for me in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.